All right, I am going to go ahead and get started. I'm sure some more people will join in here soon. But welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. The focus of this evening's workshop is going to be on reducing holiday stress for children with special needs. This will be presented by Dr. Mallory Garrett. All of the attendees' cameras and microphones are automatically shut off, so if you do have any questions or comments as you go along, feel free to pop those down into the Q&A at the bottom of your screen, and then we will answer all of the questions at the end of the presentation. Firstly, I just wanted to give a brief overview of AvaECare. Our mission is to enrich the lives of individuals with autism or other unique behavioral or learning needs through virtual technology and applied behavior analysis. We do believe that everyone deserves access to compassionate, evidence-based ABA therapy wherever you may live. So that's why we've expanded our research to include telehealth services alongside our existing in-person clinics and academies. We provide outstanding care wherever families need us. That might mean in centers, in schools, in homes, communities, as well as online. Real quickly here, AvaECare, we represent expert ABA care wherever we're needed. So you might be familiar with some of our affiliates, including Alpine Academy, Behavior Care Specialists, or Interventions Unlimited. Combined, we have 46 years of experience in autism care, and we're excited to help families across the United States to access the highest quality ABA services. We are currently located across 6 states across the US, including South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Wyoming, Texas, and Florida. And we are expanding our reach with those telehealth services. Some of the services that we provide, we now have diagnostic evaluation in Texas and soon in Florida. We do provide one-on-one ABA therapy in various settings. We have in-person and virtual social skills groups, special education with ABA principals, and parent and caregiver training and consultation. So our presenter tonight, like I said, is Dr. Mallory Garrett. She is a senior BCBA for the Plano and McKinney Centers. She joined Behavior Care Specialist in April of 2019. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Special Education and Master's in Educational Administration from Freed-Hardeman University before going on to earn her doctoral degree in Applied Behavior Analysis at the University of Memphis. She has been working in the field of applied behavior analysis since 2007. Dr. Garrett has worked with a variety of populations across ages and diagnoses in the clinic, home, school, and community settings. In addition to her clinical work, she brings 4 years of experience teaching behavior analysis and special education courses at the collegiate level. Her passion for the science of behavior analysis is driven by the dramatic impacts it can have on the lives of families, of children and their families. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Dr. Garrett.
Okay. Share screen. All right, so I want to thank you all for attending this parent training. I know you have a lot on your plate this time of year, so it really means a lot for you to take the time to learn about some strategies that can help the individuals you work with who have special needs during the holiday season. So it's the most blank time of the year. Oftentimes it's the most wonderful time of the year for a majority of people. However, it's the most stressful time of the year. And I'm sure you can add your own adjective to describe your situation. And I just want to read this real quick for all the parents out there. So to the parents who have to walk away from the invites, stay home this season, or can't partake in all the holiday hustle, just breathe. You're doing a great job. To the parents who have to sit in a different room, away from the party, the noise, the smells, and bright lights, keep going. For those of you who have to bring special food, a special toy, or an electronic, don't feel bad. You're providing support for your child, even if others don't understand it. Be proud of all your hard work and be thrilled when others want to take part in joining you and your child in their world, instead of having expectations of them joining theirs. You've got this. So before I get into strategies that you can use, I just want to commend you for what you've already done. The months October, November, December, We've got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then on top of that, we have COVID. So a lot of us are under stressful situations, and sometimes doing your best looks different than other people. So don't compare yourself because you're doing a great job as is. I know that we want the holidays to be perfect, but getting locked into the ideal can cause much of our stress. This year, try to take a holiday as it comes. Minimize your stress by preparing ahead, asking for help, and simplifying whenever possible. The joy will follow. Most of this presentation will focus on preventive strategies. There'll be a lot of examples. And again, as Chelsea said, if you have comments or questions, please don't hesitate to write them in the box. I will take time to answer questions at the end of the presentation. So let's prepare. In our field of applied behavior analysis, we use a term called priming, which is basically preparing. It's a strategy used to prepare children for a situation or task by providing them with relevant information beforehand. And I think this applies to really anyone. We like to know what's coming. We like to be prepared. I like to know my schedule. I like to know, is there gonna be a lot of people there? Is it gonna be drinks only? Is it gonna be food? I just like to know, and I like to prepare. So there's different strategies we can use to prepare our kids. We use them for transitions, setting expectations, and preparing for new events. So some examples include schedules or calendars, first then boards, or first then language, social stories, practicing before the actual event, verbal reminders, videos, and timers. And we're gonna go through what those look like. For timers, there's gonna probably be a lot of kids asking, when is this gonna happen? When is this gonna happen? When is Santa gonna come? And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of repetitive questions. And even though kids can be verbal and high functioning, doesn't necessarily mean that they don't need visuals. I need visuals. Really, everyone needs visuals. It's a quick way to get the information we need. So there's visual timers here. And then these two clocks, on one of them, I actually colored in just this one for one of my clients. So when it's in the green, they know what they're supposed to be doing. And then this is for kids who can read, get dressed. It's their whole morning routine within a 35-minute period. So when you're doing timers, I suggest, saying, I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes, and then we're going to be going to the store, or you have 5 minutes left to play with your game. 5 minutes, those words, 5 minutes, mean nothing to someone who doesn't understand the concept of time. So that's why we like to use visual timers. Another thing we use are change boards, because the world is filled with changes. You may be going to grandma's house and you forgot to grab the food. So you have to make a pit stop on the way. So this is a great way to have a way to explain this to your child, that there's going to be a change. So instead of going straight to grandma's, we are doing a pit stop to get food. Or the weather may play a part. Instead of going outside, we're going to drive to see the lights. And instead of playing with your favorite toy, we're going to do this. There's just some change that has to be done, and we have to help them accept it. We don't want to hide or prevent them from having to deal with change because it is a part of life. So having this laminated or at your in your car or just in your purse is awesome because you can just fill it in on the spot. And it doesn't have to look all this pretty. I carry a thing of sticky notes in my pocket at all times, and I can easily write this, or I can draw it to help a kiddo when a change comes up unexpectedly. Another thing is a countdown chart. So I'm sure you're going to get asked, is Santa coming? Is Santa coming tonight? Is Santa coming tonight? And it's going to get real annoying. And so this way, the kids can participate by doing a Christmas countdown. So there's 10 sleeps till Christmas, and you could have them put something on the number or take the number off. So that way they can see how many times they have to sleep before Christmas. And it's something that they can just walk by and see and look at and reassure themselves. They don't have to have another person explain it because it's visually presented to them in a way that they can understand. And this countdown doesn't have to be just for the holidays or for Christmas. And all of these strategies can be implemented throughout the entire year. So don't think it's only during the holidays we're using these things. Our goal is to use these on a consistent basis in our homes to help our kids accept change, be more independent. Another thing is having a monthly calendar. And this is something that we all do. We all have a schedule. Most of us have a schedule book, a planner. So why wouldn't it be that our kids need one? This provides a lot of structure for the kids, and it's reassuring because they can see when things are going to happen. When is the last day of school? When do I go back? Am I going back? When is the school play? When are we going to Grandma and Grandpa's? So this really is a great visual to use to prepare them for what's ahead. You can break this down to a day, to a week, or you can do a month. Whatever the individual you work with seems to handle the best. So one thing that I want to discuss, and I'm sure most of you have heard about first and then boards. So when we use first and then boards, we're saying first you're going to do this, and then you're going to get this. So you're going to do a non-preferred activity, and then you'll get a preferred activity or item. A lot of times we wait for the individual to engage in problem behaviors, and then we're in the middle of a store, they're falling to the floor because they couldn't get the candy, and we're like, okay, I'll give you the candy if you just stand up. You'll get it if we can just walk to the car. And really that's just a reactive strategy known as bribery. So I want to reinforce the importance of reinforcement. So reinforcement is planning ahead. Rewards are earned as an incentive for a job well done. It creates a lasting positive behavior change. It's planned ahead of time and delivered with praise. And the adult, you are in control. So you decide when and if reward has been earned. On the other side, there's bribery. Bribes are given in response to a challenging behavior. Changes behavior in the moment, but not over time. It's reactive and delivered in frustration. Child is in control. Negotiation is made in exchange for compliance. So the use of a first then board can do so many preventive strategies at once. there's different types. So at the top, there's a first, a next, and then finally for kids who can do 2 steps before getting reinforced for their behavior. Or there's just one, you have to do one task or do one thing, and then you get what you want. But we present this before we do anything else. So if we're going to have to go to the store, first we're going to go to the store and not ask for anything, and then you'll get a treat. Now, it's important as parents and caregivers that we don't decide for our children what they're going to earn. We can give them choices because some of the things that they may want are unrealistic or at the time unavailable. So I like to say, okay, Joey, first we're going to do this, and then you can earn, and then I have some choices. Or I'll say, what do you want to work for? And if Joey tells me something that is appropriate, is available, then I will be able to give that to him if he earns it. So just know that you're more empowered if you prepare, and that way you won't feel as grasping for straws because you're in the store. They are throwing a temper tantrum and it feels like everyone's staring at you. I've been there. And so really focus on the preparation before going out and using and having those first then available. And like I said, with the sticky notes, put them in your pocket. You can write on them and pull them out real quickly for your child. Some other ways that we can prepare is introduce new sights, smells, and sounds one at a time. So I know that we all love to decorate for Christmas, and I'm sure most of you have done this, but doing it all at once can be a sensory overload for some kids. Let's say they go to bed, you decide to decorate everything, they come down the stairs, and there's all these bright lights. There's all these new smells from all the holiday candles you have. It's a lot to take in. And it's a lot sometimes for neurotypical people to take in. And those who don't suffer from sensory overload, it still is a sensory overload. So maybe start with putting the tree up. No lights, no nothing, just a tree. And let the child become okay with it being in the environment. And then let's add lights and have our child help us. Let's have them participate. Just make sure that it's gradual in order to prevent some behaviors that your child may engage in due to a lot of sensory input at one time. For individuals who struggle with fine motor skills, we want to reduce frustration by adjusting presents and cards. So loosen ribbons, unseal envelopes, and minimize tapes so your child can feel successful with little frustration. You know, nothing is as exciting as opening up a gift on Christmas morning and not being able to open it easily. That's something that we can help them with. And it's something that we don't necessarily want to do it all for them. So this is a happy middle ground where they are able to unwrap their gifts with success because they may have siblings or cousins or friends that they see opening presents. And that's really an exciting thing. And we want them to be able to participate in that activity. And we want to be able to watch them as they open a present. Be sure to provide choices and allow the individual to participate in preparation activities. So providing choices can help the child feel empowered and included. And that's something that they don't feel all the time. Even if it's choosing, what drink should we serve? What food should we serve? Where do you want to sit? Do you want to do a special job if you're having people come over? And then allow them to participate in preparing. Will you set the table? Will you put out the food? Look to their strengths and determine, how can I include them so that they aren't just sitting around watching this stuff being done or on their iPad. Let's get them involved and be part of the family so that they're included during the holidays. And this will look different for every kid. It's just focusing on your child's strengths and how we can use those strengths to help them participate more. So I'm sure none of you have dealt with this, but if your child begins to obsess about a particular gift or toy they want, it may help to be specific and direct about the number of times a child can mention the toy. So you're gonna see this and you're gonna hear this a lot, and it's gonna get a little annoying after a while. But we don't want them to just stop talking about something they really enjoy. So one thing we can do is, this is, for example, give them 5 tokens. It can be anything, 5 sticky notes, 5 paper clips, and they can cash it in for 5 minutes of talking about the toy. So they come to you, they present you with the token, and you listen to them talk about this toy for 5 minutes, and then they're done. And they can do this 5 times throughout the day. Now, the amount of tokens is going to look different. The amount of time talking about the toy is different. And this can be used for siblings. If the child wants to talk to their sibling about it, have them go take a token to them and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this toy I'm really excited about. That gets your siblings involved. Friends, if they want to talk to their friends about it, have them go to their friend and say, hey, I want to talk to you about my favorite toy that I hope I'm getting. And this can really be done with any topic that a child perseverates with. You know, we don't want to totally take away things that they like, and don't want to say, you cannot talk about that. We're done talking about it. You know, we have to be able to give them that time and teach them when it's appropriate and when they can do it. Oops. If you'll be spending time with family and friends who haven't been around your child, consider giving them information in advance. And I'll show some examples of a 1-page profile. But this is really important because there's nothing like going to a family event and no one interacting with your child because they don't know how to, or they're nervous, or they don't know what to do, they don't know what to say, they don't know what they like. So in my family, we do have a special needs individual, and the family updates us. They have new interests every Christmas. And so I personally want to know, what can I talk to them about? How can I get them engaged so that they're not just sitting on their iPads, and that they're part of the family, interacting with the family, and having fun activities available for the child ahead of time. So 1-page profiles look something like this. And this is something that can be used year-round. When you go to the doctor, when you go to the dentist, when they switch to a different teacher, just by looking at that, you know she likes candy immediately. I didn't read anything. I just saw pictures of candy, jelly beans. I know she likes candy. Definitely going to use that as a reinforcer. Definitely going to bring that up when I meet her. So it says what people like and admire about me. So we're pointing out the positive things, what makes me happy, So those are her reinforcers that she likes, and how I want to be supported. So I need things to be repeated. I need you to be patient and give me thinking time. Always walk on my left. These are things that are really important to the client and to your child that your family may not know, because this is not information that they can see, that they will necessarily know about. If I collapse on the floor, I don't like something. So we definitely don't want to reinforce collapsing on the floor. So this is something that can prepare the family members on how to react to certain things that the client your child most likely will be doing. And then for your token system or your talking system that I was talking about. So this kid loves Legos. He wants Legos for Christmas. So these are Velcroed on. It's a card he carries. He gives a card to a parent, a sibling, and it equals 5 minutes to talk about Legos. I can do this 5 times a day. When I don't have any left, I'm done talking about it. And this can be modified for your child depending on what level they're on. And they may need more than 5 times to talk about it. This also teaches the older high functioning kids on, I know I'm going to want to talk about this before I go to bed. So I'm going to save one before I go to bed. Instead of within 1 hour, I've used all my tokens and I cannot talk about it again. So it works on that timing. Do I want to save it up? Do I want to do it all at once? And then learning that once you're out of something, you're out of something, because that's part of life. And this is a great way to start teaching that to them at a younger age. So for last minute holiday shopping, for anyone, it's stressful. But it's really stressful for children who rely on routines, because we're always having to run and go get stuff last minute. We forgot this, we forgot that. There's no one to watch your child, so you have to take them with you. If you do take your child shopping, allow enough time to gradually adapt to the intense holiday stimuli that stores exhibit this time of year. So one strategy that some of my clients use with their parents who take them shopping is I literally have them do a permanent marker, and I have them wrap it with masking tape. Then when they get to their cart, they pull out a piece of masking tape, and this parent had 5 circles, and he was working for candy at the end. So there are certain behaviors we were targeting. So these, we wanted to fill them up. So each time that we colored one in, that meant he was engaging in his appropriate behaviors. And if he earned all 5, then he would get to earn his prize that they had talked about prior to going to the store. This is really easy. And this is something that you can always carry on the marker and the masking tape in your purse or your bag, and just kind of have your own system worked out before going into the store and use it during the store. I love how you're walking by the cart. I like how you're holding my hand. I like how you're talking quietly. So that will reduce behaviors because they're working for something, and be sure to follow through, and ask them, what do you want to work for? We got to run into the store. And I'm sorry that we have to do this and it's not on your schedule, but we can make it fun. And so this is an easy way to do that in the store all year long. So traveling, I know there's this holiday, there's probably not going to be a lot of traveling. It's going to look very different, and that's okay. But if you do travel, you again want to be prepared. Think about all the things your kid likes, medications, supplies they may need, favorite books, favorite toys. Make sure you have everything you need to travel. Make a list. And as you think of something, be sure to write it down. I have tons of lists, and there's something about checking something off that really excites me. So when you make lists, just check it off for all the items that you have. Be sure to have emergency paperwork. You never know what's going to happen while you travel. And so having that paperwork is really important. And use the art of distraction. Road trips can be tough. Make sure that you can distract them with their favorite coloring sheet, their favorite CD, their favorite music, things that will keep them busy during the trip that are high reinforcers for them so that they can enjoy the trip and you're not constantly having to hear, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Because they're having so much fun in the car doing the things that you prepared for them. Talk about the trip ahead of time. Where are you going? How are you going to get there? Are you making any stops in between? Who's going to be there? What to expect in the car? What are the rules in the car? You know, set up some expectations for the trip. It's okay to have rules for them, and knowing that ahead of time will prevent behaviors from occurring in the car or the airplane. Use visuals. The visuals that I have mentioned can be made prior to the trip. They don't have to be fancy. They just have to get the job done. And it doesn't have to be time consuming. You can easily laminate them so that you can write on them with dry erase markers and use them multiple times so that you're not having to make multiple copies of it. And then if you're going to be flying, talk to transportation personnel. Most air carriers have accommodations and will make accommodations for your child and your family. If there's a certain place they need to sit, if there's a certain drink they need to have, or they need to get on the plane first so that they can practice putting on their seatbelt, they can practice sitting quietly, they can practice different things rather than get on when it's completely full. People are in front of you, people are behind you, they're pushing, they're rushing. So that's something, if you're going to be flying, I would definitely talk to the airline and the people that check you in and just let them know your circumstances so that it's a smooth transition. One thing you can do in your car, and this is something that a parent did, one of my clients, we kind of put together a roadmap that's child friendly. So the parents had picked out different pit stops. So they had been this way before. They knew what 3 gas stations, what 2 gas stations they were going to stop at, and then there was a playground. So this car is on Velcro, and we move it when we get to our first pit stop. Same with the second, same with the third, and then we're at our destination. So they, by looking at this, they can see, okay, 2 more stops and I'm out of the car. 1 more stop and I can get out of the car. 3 more stops and I'm at my destination. And this is just above both driver seats where the mirrors are. And this worked really well for this particular client. We had a lot of success with it. And it's really easy to do. And once it's up there, it's up there. You can change the pictures for any trip that you're going on. And this isn't just, this is for any kid. This is for any kid, any teenager who doesn't know, oh, how long is it going to be? When are we going to stop? Where are we going to stop? It quiets the car down, as the parent says, when we were doing this. And then another thing I like to keep in the car is, if you'll see this little boy right here. So these are the 3 stops that they have to make when mom's running errands. So we have to go to I'm going to pick you up from school. We're going to go to the post office, and then we're going to go to the grocery store. And this stays in the car. All of the places, it's a file folder. So inside the file folder are all the places in the community that the child goes to. And mom just makes the schedule for him of stops so that he knows, okay, we're going to these 3 places and then I get to go home. And this, just keeping this in the car, keeping it handy, really helps. Those last minute, we got to run some errands. There's been a change. I got to go to the post office, so let's rearrange the pictures a little bit. And so this is really handy to have in the car, available to you. That's really quick. Another thing I do, or I suggest, these are really simple. Basically, they're trying to find these items while they're on a car trip. So if they find a car, they cross it off. When they see a stop sign, they cross it off. A speed limit sign, cross it off. So they're busy and distracted looking for these things. And it also provides a lot of instruction. So I have kids who are working on safety signs and stop sign. What does that mean? What do we do when we see that? Or what vehicle? What vehicle? What color is the light? There's a lot you can do with your kids other than just crossing it out. You can make conversation with it. Oh, you see a cloud. What does the cloud look like? What color is the cloud? And it gets, here's one with, all different kinds of vehicles, all different kinds of animals, a bunch of different road signs, safety signs. And so we laminate these, keep them in our car, and switch them out every once in a while with different ones so that we can keep them distracted, but they're learning and they're looking and they're pointing. A lot of skills can be taught in the car with just these quick little scavenger hunts. And so while we're preparing for our kiddos to make sure that they have as much of a stress-free holiday season, you have to remember that you guys need to take care of yourself first. Self-care is a must. You deserve the time to take care of yourself, because then and only then are you able to help your children to the fullest. When you're running on empty, it's hard to help those around us. If we don't have the energy, we're not sleeping. So be sure to schedule time for yourself. Think of it as, imagine pauses at gas station fill-ups on your parenting road trip. It doesn't have to be going to the spa for the day. It can just be taking a bubble bath. Stop what you're doing for a mindful minute and look around you. Take a detour through the park on your drive home. Pick up a book while supper is cooking. Just little things throughout the day set aside for yourself so that you do have intentional short pauses that will fill up your gas tank, that will allow you to provide time, effort, and just being able to enjoy the holidays. Embrace movement. Movement is amazing for your mood, and it's amazing to do with your kids. Everyone likes to dance. There's a lot of Christmas music. And so I encourage you and your family to dance it out, to go for a walk outside. You know, we've been stuck in our houses. Walking outside can do a lot of good for you, your body, your mind. So be sure to move around, get out of the house, and take your kid with you, or use that walking time as your time. And then lastly, it's okay to ask for help. We don't expect you to do this on your own. We're a community that embraces each other. If you feel overwhelmed after I've presented all of this information, don't feel like I'm saying or that you need to implement all these things at one time so you don't have a stressful holiday. You can do one thing. You don't have to do them all. And these are things that don't have to be done just for the holiday season. They can be done all year long. It's strategies that you can use any time of the year. Remember that slow and steady wins the race. So take your time. You can even choose which ones are the easiest for you. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty, but there's a big community around you to help. And we at AvaECare, we want to be helpful in any way that we can. So if you need help, reach out to us, and maybe we can help you by providing some type of service that will lessen your load and help your child as well. So ask for help. It's okay. We all need help. And we will all get through this holiday season together. Are there any questions, Chelsea?
Yeah, Mallory, there's we got a general one here. We have a client that, or a parent that has an older, higher functioning child with some behavior issues. Do you have any, general holiday advice for that type of child?
So again, you wanna, one thing that would be great with, with higher functioning children and older is to role play or to practice. A lot of parents tell me that their kid, when they get a gift that they don't want, that's from somebody, they say, I didn't want this. And so I have them practice some of the events that may cause behavior issues prior to them occurring. So let's walk through it together. Let's practice. Let's model it so that they know what to expect and they've actually practiced it themselves. If you want to email me personally or email AvaECare, we'd be glad to help out further with that. Any others?
All right, so here is our just our social media information. You can find us on the web and social media for more services and events. These are all of our affiliate Facebook pages that you can find us on there. And then you can also find more information at www.interventionsunlimited.com/virtual ABA therapy. And then how to reach us. So you can reach us at intake@avaecare.com. You can also call this 1-866 number here to talk to one of our intake specialists. If you email this intake@avaecare.com, if you have a specific question for Mallory, they will definitely get that to her. So if you need any information or need to reach us any further, that is where to go. Again, it's intake@avaecare.com, or there is a phone number here as well. And then lastly, I just want to touch on just some upcoming events that we have. We do have a virtual social skills group cycle that starts on January 14th. Again, you can email that intake email. And then we will have another January webinar that will be with Dr. Jason Hurst, and the time and date on that is pending right now, but we should have that finalized here within the end of the week, and that will be up on all of our social media and website and everything with all the information. So if you'd like to register for that one, please do. All right. Last call for any questions, comments. Thank you all so much for joining. We appreciate it greatly. All right. Well, with that said, I will let you all go. Thank you all for attending and have a wonderful evening. You should get a follow-up email with a questionnaire. If you could please fill that out, it would be appreciated. Thank you, Dr. Mallory, for presenting.
Thank you.